The first award this morning is the Joseph P. Cribbins Department of the Army Civilian of the Year Award. Named in honor of its first recipient, a horse cavalryman, and the recognized father of Army aviation logistics. This award was established in 1976 and is sponsored by the Boeing Company. It is presented to the Department of the Army Civilian who has made an outstanding contribution to Army aviation in the previous calendar year. This year's winner is Mr. Sammy Burns, Jr., Director of the Aviation Field Maintenance Directorate, U.S. Army Aviation and Missile Life Cycle Management Command, AMCOM.
Well, wow. Hey, you know, these things are individual awards, but, you know, I work for a great team of folks at AMCOM, for and with. I've got a great number of folks that support us through the organization. 154 government employees across the United States, Germany, and Korea supporting our efforts. We've got contract partners, DynCorp, DS2, URS, and I'll forget one, and they'll tell me, L3, that support us. So without those kind of folks, we couldn't do any of this. I couldn't have achieved this award without the support of those. Great staff and support, a wonderful family sitting over here that supports me in our operations. So I'm honored to be associated with Mr. Cribbins and the things that he's done. I appreciate everything that he's done for the Army and just being in his shadows, I suppose. So thank you very much. I'm honored. God bless.
The next award is the James H. McClellan Aviation Safety Award, sponsored by General Electric Aviation in memory of James H. McClellan, a former Army aviator who was killed in a civilian aviation accident in 1958. The award is presented annually to a person who has made an outstanding individual contribution to Army aviation safety in the previous calendar year. This year's winner is Staff Sergeant Rusty R. Swisher, 96th Aviation Support Battalion, 101st Combat Aviation Brigade, Task Force Troubleshooter.
I would first like to thank Quad A for nominating me for this award. It's a great honor to receive it. I would like to thank my chain of command, Lieutenant Colonel Bahoke and Sergeant Major Annette, for recognizing me and giving me the opportunity to serve as our battalion safety officer. Thank you so much. I'd also like to thank my family for supporting me for the long hours that we spend doing our jobs. Thank you very much.
Our next award this morning is the Aviation Soldier of the Year Award, sponsored by Bell Helicopter Textron. It is presented to the enlisted soldier E4 and below, serving in an Army aviation assignment who has made an outstanding individual contribution to Army aviation. The Army Aviation Association of America's Soldier of the Year is Specialist Matthew Z. Brand, Company D, 2nd Battalion, 159th Combat Aviation Brigade, Task Force Gunslinger.
I'd first like to thank Quad A for this great honor and bringing me out here. But I wouldn't be able to be out here with without everybody from my unit back in Germany, Delta Company 2159. They all deserve the same praise. I'd also like to thank my friends and family back home, making 10 months in Afghanistan a little more bearable, and most of all my parents who have supported me, not just the past year, but for the past 25, so thank you.
The Army Aviation Association's Henry Q. Dunn Crew Chief of the Year Award is next. Sergeant Major Dunn was the first crew chief for the Presidential Flight Detachment that was initially established during the Eisenhower administration. This award is being sponsored by Robertson Fuel Systems. The Army Aviation Association of America's Crew Chief of the Year is Sergeant Zachary R. Rice, Company C, 2nd Battalion, 25th Combat Aviation Brigade. Sergeant Rice was unable to be with us this morning. However, he received his award from Major General Mangum and the Aviation Branch Command Sergeant Major Jim Thompson at his home base on March the 25th. The next award was established in 2002 to give greater recognition to our enlisted ranks by retaining our Traditional Soldier of the Year Award and adding the Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year Award. In 2008, the award was renamed in tribute to Medal of Honor recipient and Army Aviation Hall of Fame inductee, Sergeant First Class Rodney J.T. Yano. This award is being sponsored by Lockheed Martin Corporation. The Army Aviation Association of America's Rodney J.T. Yano NCO of the Year is Sergeant First Class Armando Ocon, Company C, 3rd Battalion, 25th Combat Aviation Brigade.
I want to say thank you to Quad A for honor and privilege to receive this year's award, to Colonel Tate, Colonel Robinson, Sergeant Major Ruiz, Sergeant Major O'Leary, and my chain of command. Thank you for letting me be part of the Task Force Wings, Task Force Hammerhead, and Dust Off family. To the officers, NCOs, and soldiers of Charlie Company 325, I wouldn't be up here without your guys' help. And to my lovely wife, thank you throughout the years. And I love you. Thanks.
Our last individual award this morning is the Michael J. Novosel Army Aviator of the Year Award, sponsored by Sikorsky Aircraft Corporation. This award is named for Medal of Honor recipient and Master Army Aviator CW4 Mike Novosel. This year's recipient is Chief Warrant Officer 5 Michael W. Hardy, Company D, 1st Battalion, 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, Airborne.
I'd like to thank the Army Aviation Association of America for this tremendous award and putting on this first-class event down here in Fort Worth, Texas. I'd like to thank Janice Arena for her hospitality and coordinating my family's arrival to participate in this special day. In the 160th, our motto is being the quiet professional, which means sometimes our families don't know where we're at or what we're doing. So the fact that Quad A makes this a family-oriented event means a lot and very special to my family. This is the second year in a row that a pilot from my company has won this award. And even though it's an individual award, it takes a team, and a great team we have down there in 1st Battalion, Delta Company 160th. Thank you.
The Robert M. Leich Award is the first unit award this morning. It is sponsored by Northrop Grumman Corporation and honors the memory of an aviator from the Army's initial pilot training course in June of 1942, who served as our association's first national president. The award is given to a unit or an individual for sustained contributions to Army aviation or for a unique one-time outstanding performance. The 2012 Robert M. Leich Award is presented to the Corpus Christi Army Depot, Corpus Christi, Texas. Accepting the award are its Deputy the Commander for Maintenance Operations, Mr. Bill Brady, Major Tracy Johnson, and Mr. Oscar Raccio.
to a very large audience, but I do want to say a special thanks. Lieutenant General Phillips, Lieutenant General Barkley, Major General Crosby, one of my bosses, Major General Collier, General Mangum, a personal friend and mentor, General Del Daly is here, and many other retired and still serving general officers, leaders, visitors, and friends of Army Aviation. Thank you for finding a way to be here. We know it wasn't easy, but Quad A is about honoring our soldiers and our Department of the Army civilians, and we appreciate more than you'll ever know you finding a way to be here to participate in this sacred trust of that honor. It's my privilege to represent today Colonel Christopher B. Carlisle, my boss and my friend, who is the serving commander of Corpus Christi Army Depot. He's also obviously the president of our local chapter of Quad A. With me on stage today is Mr. Oscar Riccio. Oscar is the vice president of the chapter, but Oscar's also serves our depot as a master scheduler. He's a key and critical employee of our depot. Colonel Carlisle and Sandy couldn't be here this morning. The boss is facing a PCS move, and he and Sandy are dealing with the loss of not only a relative, but now also the loss of a close friend of Sandy's. So their plate's very full, and I know your thoughts and prayers would be appreciated. Like all awards, very eloquently said before me, they're earned by large teams and presented to a few mere representatives of those larger teams. But I want you to know our team includes AMCOM and the AMCOM Logistics Center. Mr. Sammy Burns has already been recognized representing the Aviation Field Maintenance Division of the ALC. PEO Aviation, the U.S. Army Aviation Center of Excellence, our OEM partners, Army Contracting Command, and many others. CCAD couldn't do what it does without the active participation and chance to serve of all of those members. So on behalf of our chapter, my boss, Colonel Chris Carlisle, and our dedicated employees, thank you for coming and thank you for the award.
The U.S. Army Reserve Aviation Unit of the Year Award was established in 1985 and was presented for the first time during the 1986 convention. The award is sponsored by the Honeywell Corporation and is presented to the reserve unit, battalion, and below that has made an outstanding contribution to or innovation in the employment of Army aviation over and above the normal mission assigned to that unit. This year's winning U.S. Army Reserve Aviation Unit of the Year is Company F, 5th Battalion, 159th Aviation Regiment. Accepting the award are the unit commander, Major Derek S. Davis, and Senior Non-Commissioned Officer, First Sergeant Oscar H. Gomez.
Any successful organization has a lot of support, and I would like to take the time just to thank some of our supporters, starting with the 11th Aviation, 244th Aviation Brigade, and the 5th of the 159 GSAB. I'd also like to thank Medevac PM for helping us get stood up so fast. Operationally, I'd like to thank Task Force Spearhead and Task Force Storm for integrating us in as a part of their units and making us family. I have a special debt of gratitude that I have to give to all the Devil Ray families because they gave the most significant portion of their time, not only for our train-up, but for our deployment. And I'd like to thank them for their sacrifice. And thank you to Quad A.
Good morning, everybody. I'm a man with very few words. First of all, I would like to thank Quad A for this honor. And my commander, leadership, if it wasn't for his leadership, this award probably would never happen. And most of all, I would like to thank my soldiers that did it all. All we did was stay behind and watch them do it. Thank you.
And now our next award is the John J. Stanko Jr. Army National Guard Aviation Unit of the Year Award. This award was also established in 1985 and presented at the 1986 Quad A Convention. In late 2010, your National Executive Board renamed this award for the acknowledged father of Army National Guard Aviation, Colonel Retired John J. Stanko Jr. This award is also sponsored by the Honeywell Corporation and recognizes outstanding unit accomplishments within the Army National Guard for organizations battalion-sized and below. The John J. Stanko Army National Guard Unit of the Year is 1st Battalion, 211th Aviation Regiment, Utah Army National Guard. Receiving the award are Lieutenant Colonel Gregory B. Hartvickson, the unit commander, and Command Sergeant Major Tracy F. Cartwright, the senior NCO. And assisting in presenting this award is Brigadier General Michael E. Bobeck, the Special Assistant to the Director of the Army National Guard.
On behalf of the 450 soldiers of the 1st to the 211th Attack Reconnaissance Battalion and our families, it gives me and Sergeant Major Cartwright great pleasure to accept this award, recognizing from you, their peers and professionals, their outstanding work, dedication, discipline, and hard work. This past year has really been the culmination of many years transitioning from the Alpha model Apache to the Delta model, culminating in the completion this last year of the unit field training program at Fort Hood, Texas, with a follow-on deployment to Afghanistan, where their accomplishments resulted in all soldiers coming home and not experiencing any Class A, B, or C accidents as they provided world-class support to the commanders on the ground. And so we thank you, we thank Quad A, and we are very proud to accept this on the behalf of our soldiers. Thank you.
The association's newest unit award is its Active Army Aviation Unit Award for active battalion and below units. The award was established in 2006 and is sponsored by L3 Communications Corporation. 1st Squadron, 17th Cavalry Regiment, Task Force 6 Sabre, is the 2012 Active Aviation Unit of the Year. Accepting the award for the unit is its commander, Lieutenant Colonel Richard Zampelli, and Command Sergeant Major Brian N. Houck, the unit senior NCO. Also in the audience this morning are the past Commander and Command Sergeant Major, Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Cheeks, and Command Sergeant Major Frankie Woods.
General Prochaski, on behalf of 1st Squadron, 17th Cavalry Regiment, I'd like to thank the entire Quad A communication, or Quad A organization, and all the industry partners for everything you do for Army aviation, its soldiers, and families. While Command Sergeant Major Brian Houck and I are accepting this award, we would personally like to thank both Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Cheeks and Command Sergeant Major Frankie Woods for their leadership during OEF 1112 that led the squadron to their success. There are many phenomenal units in Army aviation, each one deserving of this recognition. It's very humbling to stand here and accept this for the squadron, and it would not have been possible if it wasn't for the professionalism of every soldier, non-commissioned officer, and warrant officer in the organization. Thank you.
The association's oldest unit award is its Outstanding Aviation Unit Award for U.S. Army units regardless of component or size. The award was established in 1959 and is sponsored by the Boeing Company. It recognizes an outstanding contribution to or innovation in the employment of Army aviation, and it has been awarded to aviation units who have served in every corner of the globe. The 25th Combat Aviation Brigade Task Force Wings has been selected as the 2012 Outstanding Aviation Unit of the Year. Accepting the award for the unit is the Commander, Colonel Frank W. Tate, Command Warrant Officers CW5 Joseph B. Rowland, and Command Sergeant Major Jesus Ruiz, the Senior NCO during the award period.
I'd like to thank General Petrosky, the Army Aviation Association of America, and the Boeing Corporation for this prestigious award. Command Sergeant Major Jesus Ruiz, CW5, Joe Rowland, and I are extraordinarily honored to accept this award on behalf of the 3,500 plus soldiers that actually earned it. And although the 25th Combat Aviation Brigade made up the nucleus of Task Force Wings, this award belongs to all of the soldiers, including our attachments from the 12th Cav, the 1st Cav, and National Guard units representing over 35 states that came together to form that team. A team of soldiers joined by a common vision of the founding principles of Army aviation that date back to the Cub Club and all of our heroes that we talked about earlier from Korea and Vietnam. The founding principle captured in the 25th Aviation Regiment's motto, Lele Mako'u no na Puale, which translates to, we fly for the troops. And that drove every initiative and every action of our soldiers in OEF 12-13. And for that, we are very proud. Thank you.
At this time, we are going to induct a person as a Knight of the Honorable Order of St. Michael. This person has been a long-standing, staunch supporter of Army aviation and of Army aviation soldiers in particular. She may be somewhat partial to Army aviation because she's married to a retired Master Army Aviator and has spent many years working many facets of support for our Army and for our Army aviation family through her position as a civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army for the state of Kentucky. So would Ms. T.C. Freeman please come forward with your husband, Bob. You know, I was going to say some other things about T.C. One of them is she's a lot like Margaret Thatcher, and she's going to do what she wants to do. Everybody knows T.C. I was going to, trying to figure out who to ask up here, and certainly General Cody was one. But if we ask everybody that T.C. has ever impacted, we'd have to ask the entire audience to come up on stage. So it was a difficult decision. So what I'd like to do now is read the citation.
Appearing before a most arduous and discriminatory committee of tried and proven Army aviators and aviation patriots, be it known that Clarissa J. T.C. Freeman was found worthy of special recognition for outstanding contributions to the community of Army aviation and is hereby inducted as a Knight of the Honorable Order of St. Michael. The Archangel St. Michael is the embodiment of courage, justice, and gallantry. So, too, the aforementioned individual embodies these qualities and represents excellence in aviation. Therefore, the President of the Army Aviation Association of America acknowledges that this patriot is due special honor and respect for now and posterity. Given under my hand this 10th day of April 2013, signed Daniel J. Petrosky, Lieutenant General Retired, President of the Army Aviation Association of America.
Well, what a day, and what a wonderful, wonderful surprise. Yeah, I am a little partial, and before I sit down, air assault.